Have you ever wondered what the oldest sports in the world are? Sports have been an integral part of human culture and history for centuries. From ancient times to the modern era, they've served as a means for entertainment, competition, and even survival. But how do we determine the age of a sport, you ask? It's a mix of historical records, archaeological findings, and a dash of educated guesswork. Join me on this journey as we explore the 10 oldest sports in the world, starting from the most recent to the oldest. Let's start with our countdown, beginning with the 10th oldest sport. Polo, known as the sport of kings, hails from Persia around the 6th century BC. This equine game is not just about speed, but also strategy and teamwork. Next up, at number 9, we have gymnastics. Originating from ancient Greece, it was initially a military training activity around the 5th century BC. Moving on to number 8, fencing, a sport born in Spain around the 12th century AD. It was initially a form of military training before evolving into the sport we know today. Wrestling takes the 7th spot. With roots in ancient Egypt around 3000 BC, it's one of the first competitive sports in history. Finally, at number 6, boxing, a sport that dates back to ancient Greece around the 7th century BC. It was included in the first Olympic Games. These ancient sports have shaped the world of athletics as we know it today. But what could be older than these? Let's find out. Now, let's move on to the top 5 oldest sports in the world. At number 5, we have hockey. This sport dates back to nearly 3,000 years ago, originating from ancient Greece. A fascinating fact about hockey is that it was initially played with a horn and a ball. Moving on to number 4, archery. This sport can be traced back to around 5,000 years ago, with its origins in Asia. Did you know? Archery was not just a sport, but also a significant part of warfare and hunting. At number 3, we have running. It's as old as mankind itself, originating from the time when man had to hunt for survival. At number 2, we have javelin throwing, a sport that was part of the early Olympics in which a javelin is thrown as far as possible. The first javelin throwing was included in the Olympics in 708 BC. And finally, at number 1, we have swimming. This sport dates back to the Stone Age, as evidenced by cave paintings. These are the oldest sports that have stood the test of time and continue to be enjoyed by many today. What a journey back in time that was. We've traced the roots of athletic competition, from the fiery intensity of wrestling, the strategic depth of boxing, to the sheer endurance required in marathon. We've seen the complexity of polo, the precision of archery, and the raw power of javelin throwing. All these sports, each with its unique history, have shaped our world in fascinating ways. These sports, steeped in history and tradition, remind us of our shared human experience and the timeless appeal of athletic competition. Thanks for joining me on this journey through time and sport.